Good morning, Wild Pack. Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Woohoo! It's your Wednesday. It's your Wednesday. It's your hump day. It's your hump day. Is it Wednesday? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. All right. I was like having a tripping. Good morning. Okay. Kelly B. I thought you wrote I was just like it or whatever, and for some reason in my head I saw I like it like that, and so the song I like it like that. Oh baby, I like it like that. Whoop. Lisa, hi. Good morning, y'all. Let me get my errant hair taken care of. So listen, y'all, this is some craziness up in here this morning. We're gonna be doing, it's like this whole melange, a potpourri, if you will, of like healing and life purpose and setting intentions and tarot cards and spirit animals. It's just a whole thing right up in here this morning. So I'm going to give it just a minute or two. Just, you know what? I'm fixing to be selfish for a second. I love hanging out with y'all and watching the good morning and watching all the comments and whatnot. And then I'll get back to reading. In the meantime, I'd really like to thank Teapot. She does an amazing job as a moderator. Amy, she'll chime in, I'm sure, during the day. And if everybody could send really great healing energy to Amy's little pumpkin, she's feeling kind of puny. So, her name is Finley, by the way. And Dimas Hawari, how are you? You're new. Dimas Hawari and Panda. Is Panda on here this morning? I didn't see Panda, but if you're here, good morning, Panda. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Little C, Big C. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, every dang body. And, cool. Good morning, Keith. Good morning. Good morning. So anyway, thank them. Also, please, if you would, if you feel so compelled, you like the readings that I do, or any of the metaphysical stuffs that I put up on my channel, it would be really helpful to me and to the animal allies if you would hit the like button and make sure you press the little ringy dingy bell thingy so you get all the alerts, and share these videos as much as possible. Little C, Big C, you didn't see Panda. I didn't either. So okay, so here's how this is craziness, y'all, today. So you can't make this up. You just can't make this up. So as you know, I take a pretty hardline view of people who try to scam other people. In particular, on my channel, when the people from wherever they're from or whatever they're all about, they're like, I'm drawn to you, inbox me for your free reading, woo! And it's a load of horse apples. So so you guys know what I say to them, right? It's different every time, but I got a Facebook message from one of them yesterday. No joke. A Facebook message. You ready for this? It was a diatribe about how I am a privileged American and I don't know what it's like in their country. And you don't know what you have to do to feed your family, you know, to do this, to do that, the whole nine yards. And my heart really does go out to them because let me just say this. My first husband is from Uruguay, and he grew up in a farming family where they literally, with 8 children in the family, literally with the parents and the 8 children, made a grand total of $500 a year. They grew everything they ate. They made their own clothes. They farmed their stuff and toted it into town every day. I mean, like, I get it. I get it at a very deep and very personal level. Having said that, I can also say that my first ex-husband came here, did what he needed to do, and worked his way up to get his GED, because you have to have that in the States. You don't have to have it in other countries, obviously. And worked for Publix for 20-something years. And then retired from Publix and now works at FedEx and has been working at FedEx for the last 6 years. So I do feel for you. I do feel for the plight in your country. That's not an excuse. But I fell over when I got this this Facebook message. I mean, but it really got me to thinking. And what I was told yesterday was that really your life is going to boil down to your intentions. What are your intentions? Are you clear on them? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you don't want? Do you know what you're willing to do to get what you want? It's just like it was this thing. It just was this thing. It kept me up all night long, right? And so I'm trying to follow these comments. Oh my God. You get a ton of those messages, CCanuel? Like people writing you and saying, you know, you don't know what it's like over here. But it was in direct response to my banning somebody over the last few weeks. They were somebody that I banned, and they found me on Facebook on my personal page, and they sent a message. I never get that stuff. Just like everybody else always gets hit on. Y'all always everybody tells me, yeah, I get that stuff all the time. Clearly I have the plague because I don't get hit on, and y'all have all the fun. But anyway, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Today, the read is going to be all about your intentions, because if you're not clear on them, if you're not confident when you set them, if you're not specific with the universe, chances are very good you may not get what you're trying to manifest, or it may blow up in your face, or, you know, there's like a million kinds of things that can happen. And so, and they keep finding you after, well, hubba. Thank you, Roz. Let me tell you something. It sends me outer limits when people are like, I can't. And sometimes you can't, right? You just can't. But when people want to whine and moan about a 7-hour workday or an 8-hour workday, when my ex-husband first came here, did what he needed to do, did it the right way. He got a job as a machinist, and he worked in the quote unquote roach coaches. We met in Houston, Texas. And he literally used to work 14 and 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. They only took Sunday off. That's it. And at the machine shop, they didn't take Sunday off. And we were poor, y'all. We met when we were really young. We was po. And so he often would pick up Sundays because it would give him time and a half, and we needed the money. So yeah, he really did work for every little scrap of anything he's got, and he's done very well for himself, can I just say. So, all right, Rubab Mahim, listen, that's not how it works at my channel. I would love to help you, but that's not how it's going to work. And asking over and over again is not going to be helpful. This reading is for everybody. So all that said, that's okay, Heba. Everybody misspells my name too. Try being named Bernadette. Anyway, so here's the story. Exactly, Nikki. I don't care what situation you're in. If you can afford to have a computer to steal from people, you have enough time and money to do anything you want. Anyway, this reading today is really not about that, but it was the spin-off of just so many things that got me to thinking about what happens when people set an intention. And, you know, I get calls every week of people wanting to know if I do spell work. No. Well, why not? Well, because I don't. And, you know, and they always want spells, not always, but I would say about 95% of the time, it's to bring their lost love back to them. Like exerting your will over someone is a good plan, right? And on top of that Facebook message I got yesterday, I don't know, just one, I think yesterday, but this week it's just Wednesday, and it's already been really big for, do you do spell work? So between the spell work person and the whoever it was on the other side of the computer screen yesterday, I just know that I know we're all supposed to talk about intention today, because even when we have the best of intentions, and everybody that tunes into my channel, I absolutely know you are the most kind-hearted, compassionate, empathetic people ever. And I'm always so honored to even be communicating with you, much less reading for you, right? Because it's a big deal when you read for somebody. They place their trust in you. They trust that you are directly communicating from spirit. To me, it's a very big honor. So I am Kelly B. People can be so peoply, right? Okay. So all of that said, even when our intentions are the best of intentions, oftentimes I find when we're setting intentions that we might forget, or we may not have ever known, that within us setting our intention for ourselves, everything that happens to you, around you, inside of you, outside of you, directly affects everything, right? Everything. So when I pulled this morning to see what Spirit had to tell y'all about setting intentions, I'd like for everybody just to take a second or a whole minute, 30 seconds, and just think about what it is that you're trying to manifest in your life, and really hear and see what the spirit animals, the animal, the totem, the power, and the traditional tarot card has to share with you. And we're going to do like we do on Friday. I'm going to do about a bit of a past. This is what's going on now, and this is what's going to go on. So a three tarot card spread, right? And I know that it is, I know that it's supposed to help you, because, I mean, let's face it, our life is just a myriad of choices. It's just one choice after the other, after the other, after the other. And sometimes we can get in such a rhythm of making those choices that we don't stop and take stock of where we're at in conjunction or juxtaposed to what we want and or what we don't want. We may be in such a flow, such a hypnotic kind of rhythm, that we're manifesting the very thing we don't want. Because here's the thing. To the best of my understanding, from a scientific perspective, everything you think, feel, say, and do is an electrical current. That's it. So when you think it, when you feel it, when you say it, when you do it, that's it. It's done. It's created. And it goes out into the universe. So if you're hyper-focused on something you don't want, that's exactly what you're going to get. That's science, right? Okay. But if you focus on what you do want, but in the back of your mind or deep, deep, deep down in your heart, you're scared, you're not sure you're going to get it. You're like, okay, well, I'm setting this intention. And on the inside, like, you've got all the butterflies and whatnot, right? We're going to talk about that. Ooh, a big job today. You're welcome. You are welcome. Well, Cherry, let me just tell you this. Whatever it is that you're doing today, let me just show you the middle card. It's the Ace of Wands. So Cherry B, take that with you to this big job that you're going to do today, and you're going to do just fine, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to get started. That Ace of Wands is the present, by the way. So whatever you all have been thinking about that you, Heba, we're going to talk about that, how to get rid of your fear. We're going to definitely talk about that. So the first card that mirrors the past for you all a bit, that will give you a little more insight into your intentions, what they are, what they're not, that kind of thing, is the Chimpanzee, the Two of Pentacles. And in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, okay, so for those of you just joining us, welcome, welcome. For those of you that already know me, thank you. I love to see y'all. I love to see y'all in the mornings. You know that I read with my own Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot system. And when you take a look at the tarot card meanings for the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card, and you see the the Two of Pentacles, it's this old boy juggling, his coins, his pentacles. But inside of that, the pentacles are in a green number 8, which is all about infinity, right? That is the infinity symbol. And so when you want to consider, so let's say that you've got an intention that you want to be debt-free or credit card debt-free by the end of the year. I don't know why, but I've heard that a lot from clients lately. There's some kind of thing going on with credit cards. I don't even know. So all of that said, let's say that that's an intention you want to set. Well, that's going to require you, when you look at what the Two of Pentacles tarot card means, that's going to require you to go through a balancing act. And you might have to juggle some things to be able to do that. But at the end of the day, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to not get that Starbucks in the morning, every morning? Are you willing to cut back here or cut back there? What are you willing to do to get what you want? And it's important that you be really honest with yourself, because when you see the Two of Pentacles and you see it in the past position in a tarot card reading, really what that's telling you is, in the past, perhaps you didn't balance things quite as you might have if you, if you'd really thought about it, or if you'd really committed. And when it's almost like the Two of Pentacles in the past. Now, it's not inverted, but it's letting you know that maybe in the past you didn't practice enough. That if you had just kept going with the flow, going with the, being more flexible about it, adapting when you needed to adapt, kind of zigging when you needed to zig, zagging when you need to zag. Maybe you did some of that in the past, but it could serve you well doing more of it moving into the future. Thank you, Nikki. That is very sweet of you. Thank you, Nikki, for the donation. And so let me just say, I never ask for donations on my channel, but I'm very grateful when you give them, because 50% of what you all donate here on my channel goes to animal charities that I support. One of which is Bile Bear Farming. The other is Gentle Carousel. And then Animal Farm Place. There's a list of them that I support. But anyway, Rooterville here in right outside of Gainesville. They rescue farm animals, but in particular pigs. So in any event, the whole point of the Two of Pentacles coming out for you all, and then we're going to get into the symbolism of monkey, is that when you want to set an intention, and maybe it's going to be a fair amount of work or a big juggling act on your part, that the best way for you to go about it is to do your very best to stay calm, stay centered, and just have it be a very fluid kind of movement, a very fluid kind of way of doing things. Hence the the infinity symbol, right? The other thing is like, if you focus on maintaining grace while you're manifesting or going through whatever, right? That's very different. Maintaining grace is very different than hiding your emotions, stuffing them down, acting brave and stoic, even though inside you're falling apart. That's very different. Having grace under pressure, true grace under pressure, means that it can mean a number of things, but basically that you go through the time, you go through that season, that period of your life, and you do it in such a calm, peaceful manner, meaning that you have made peace with inside of yourself, that if things go the way that you intend them to, awesome. If things don't go the way you intend them to, your world is not going to crash apart. And it's not. And so that's one of the reasons that the Two of Pentacles tarot card is really important in anyone's life, anytime they draw it. But when you take a look at it in a past position, whether it's inverted or the card is inverted or upright, I always think of the past as a special calling to either pay attention to what you have done that regards that card in the past, and maybe this is a lesson that you got, maybe this is a thing that you've adapted, a behavior, a way of being that you've adapted or adopted, and then when we move into what's happening here and now, that's going to serve you well. Maybe when you take a look at the tarot card meanings of the Two of Pentacles, and in this case you see it in a past position, then you may go, yeah, I didn't do that so well. And I keep hearing y'all, I keep hearing ground zero, ground zero, ground zero. Are there people here? Are there people here that are literally rebuilding their lives from the ground up? Like whether it's yourself internally, whether it's your career, whether your family, whether your health, anything. Are y'all just who here is who here is who here is starting from ground zero? Okay, Andy, Krista, Sylvie, really, Jennifer. Okay, I kept hearing that. Is oh, Tiffany, you're building your new house. Andy, good for you. Rock on. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. So here's the story. Being a triple Scorpio, I've had my share of death and rebirth experiences due to my own knuckleheadedness almost every time. So I can say a thing or two about rebuilding, but really today it's about what Chimp is gonna share with you, and the Rider, again, the Two of Pentacles and the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. Now, when you're talking about a rebuilding, and we're talking about a past that maybe, when a tarot card reader or fortune teller or whatever you all call them, when they pull a past, present, future spread, it's important to know how far past is past. They could have pulled that because XYZ happened in your childhood, in your teen years, if you're in your 20s, or it could have happened yesterday. So it's important to identify when the past is. And for what I'm getting now, psychically, for those of you that are in total rebuild mode, that are rebuilding from the flow up, because you got toe up from the flow up, then I feel like the past for you is probably literally within the last 6 months to a year. That everything went to HE double hockey sticks in a handbasket, and you are just climbing out, right now. Woo, climbing out right now. One of the things that I love about Chimpanzee wanting to be the Two of Pentacles is they are the greatest gatherers, and they will go through the jungle and they will pick up lots of different kinds of fruit. But they consider them before they take them. And when I think about setting an intention, and what that means is, animal behavior people have observed, chimps, they'll pick up 2 or 3 different kinds of fruit, and they'll look at them and they'll smell them, and they'll, like we would, in our local supermarket or grocery store. And then they make their choices and they move on. Now, to be a chimpanzee for just a little bit of time to engage in that, because I'd love to know why chimps choose what they choose. Why do they do that? What is it that strikes them about a banana over a kumquat over a mango or whatever? What is that? And that really is the crux. That is the core of setting your intentions. Right? If you are like, okay, well, all right, how do I even set an intention? How do I set intentions? How do I do that? It's got to start with really what you really truly want. For instance, I have a good friend. They do very well financially, but they could give a rat's patootie. They don't care. What they care about is what the money allows them to do with their life, which is what they want to do. It just happens that in this particular situation, it's the money that allows that. My friends that run charities or animal sanctuaries that are charities, they are always just so amazed that they're thinking. They've got to have fence posts and concrete and this special kind of wire and all of this thing to create a new, enclosure for whatever animal they're going to rescue. And it comes to them in the darndest ways. I have a friend who has she has a small animal rescue. It's a small zoo. And materials come to her in the craziest ways. Contractors will pull up and go, hey, I heard you needed concrete. We had X number of bags left on our job. Here, just take them. Or she'll get a phone call from somebody that, my grandma passed away or something happened. And we have, they had a commercial nursery and we have all these commercial hoses. True story, because I don't know if y'all know this, but a commercial hose can be upwards of $200. They're no joke. And they'll dump off 5 or 6 commercial hoses, saving them $1,000. So it's important when you are working about setting your intentions, and in particular working with the Two of Pentacles and the Chimpanzee, that you know what you want and you know why you want it. There's the big diff. Why do you want that? If you can identify that and you know that you're clear on that, my goodness, you could just have whatever you want, really, truly. And when you take a look at, what chimpanzee will mean as a spirit totem and power animal, well, it goes, I think they've got, there's some very, very tiny, small percent of their brain that's different from humans. And that's the only thing that separates them, is that teeny, tiny, weeny part that's separate from humans or different than humans. And other than that, they're remarkably like us in every way. And I always like to say we're remarkably like them in any other way. I want to say it's 99% of DNA we share with chimps. I believe that's correct. And so, when you take a look at chimps and you even just sit and you watch YouTube videos about them or any other kind of thing that you've got, perhaps you could take away some things that will help you in terms of, very specifically, setting your intention or setting intentions. And, listen, there's, as a spirit totem and power animal, monkeys, chimps, even gorillas, orangutans, bonobos, I never can pronounce that correctly. They are the mirth seekers of all time. I mean, there's a reason that there's a saying that goes, more fun than a barrel of monkeys, because they really are just the cutest, most fun-loving, great senses of humor. And that certainly can be part of maybe in the past, because when you're, wow, I know I'm going on and on about this card, but the Two of Pentacles tarot card is, I just think it's one of the most profound cards in the tarot deck, because when you're considering options, is it too much? Is it too little? It's like Goldilocks porridge. What's in between? So maybe in the past, when you thought whatever this intention was that you wanted, maybe in the past you didn't take it seriously enough. Maybe you were too jokey about it, or maybe you were the opposite way. You were so laser focused that it just became a yucky situation, because when it's like that and you do that for too long like that, it sucks the life right out of something. So this could be a call for you today, in terms, especially those of you that are rebuilding. It is like, it truly is like, you've just got to be willing to take a look in your past, however far back that was. Again, it could be yesterday, it could be 20, 30 years ago. You've just got to be willing to take a look at that, figure out why you wanted what you wanted, why it didn't work out, how is this time going to be different, what are you going to do that's going to be different, how will you feel, what will you think, what will you do. And if you want to call on chimpanzee as your power animal, which means you would step outside of the chimpanzee that you already are to become yourself, They are the great innovators of all time. I mean, in the animal kingdom, they make their own tools. They have their own language. I mean, and what they pass on, kind of pod to pod, tribe to tribe within their kingdoms, it, uh, it's remarkable. It just takes one. It just takes one chimp to show the others some kind of behavior, and the others will watch and they'll consider, and then they'll try it, and if they like it, they keep it, so on and so forth. So also, when chimpanzee comes out as a spirit totem and power animal, especially if it's coming out as a power animal, I always know that for the person that I'm reading for, that innovation, exploration, invention is the mother of intention, I think, or intention is the mother of invention. And I know they say, necessity is the mother of invention, and that's true, but okay. I mean, if you want something and you need it, then there you have it. It's the same thing. But this coming into this period is going to call on you for your rebuild, for whatever it is you've set your intentions for today or in your life at this moment in your life. Oh my gosh, I've got the greatest example. I just recently read for someone who is in such a flux in their life, and they've just sold their home, and they've been taking care of their ill father for a long time. Dad is now in a hospice care. They've sold the family home, and there's a housing and land rush where they live, because people are coming, down from further up north, and they're infiltrating like the next states. You can't. It's like the housing market right now. You go to find a house, you better put your money and your contract on the table right then, or you ain't gonna get it unless you're ready to get into a bidding war. It's the same thing with temporary housing, like rentals, right? Houses, apartments, condos, everything. So he's just been feeling really like, oh my God, I have to be out of this house by this Friday. I can't find anything. Where am I gonna live? In my car? And I said, true or not true, you don't want to live in the state that you're living. No, heck no. Yak, 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 right? Okay. So, I was like, I don't feel like you're supposed to be there long term. Spirit is telling me you should not sign. You definitely should not sign a year-long lease. And if you sign a 6-month lease, you're going to find yourself just a few months from now, maybe even 2 months from now, sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm committed to this lease for the next 4 months, yakety schmackety. So, as it worked out, his intention the whole time was to be gone from there, to be gone from that place to a place that he knows he will love and that he already does love. So he had already set his intention long before he faced the choice of, the Two of Pentacles. That tarot card, its meaning, its symbolism is all steeped in choice. And so he set that intention long before he was in the situation. And there you have it. Once he got clear on what he wanted, which he said he was clear, I want to not live in this state. Then it was the why. Why don't you want to live in this state? And there were any number of reasons. And then it was, and what is stopping you, or what do you perceive as stopping you from doing what you want to do? And why do you want to leave? What really is this all about? When he sat and thought about it, it wasn't what he originally in his conscious mind thought. It went way, way deeper than that. It was a very emotional thing, very emotional. So I would encourage you all, even if you're not in the category of people that are rebuilding, okay, it is whatever this is, whatever you intend to do. It's really important that you get very clear with yourself about why. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next card for this Pick a Card daily tarot reading. Live, and in poison. And I'm shaking off the energy of the Two of Pentacles. By the way, let me also just say this. Another thing that really clued me in to what we were supposed to be talking about today. Y'all, I have a mobile vet, and I've been working with him for 20 years. Good at what he does. And he examines my cats. He comes once a month to trim their nails, his whole 9 yards. I have elderly cats, so I'm always on the look. I mean, I got 5 elderly cats, and I'm always on the lookout for them. And so I know good and darn well when he was here last week, he checked their teeth. But I stabbed myself last night on this. What is that? It was in my hallway, you ask? A cat tooth. What? Where did that come from? And I know it wasn't drug out from under anything because I'm super OCD about my house. I know that one of the cats lost a tooth. I checked them all last night. I couldn't figure out. There was no bleeding. There was no swelling. There was no nothing. But dang if this tooth wasn't there. And on the heels of that Facebook message, I was like, okay, this is about sinking your teeth into something. Now, that might seem like a stretch, but literally the moments I was thinking about today's reading for you all, that I stepped on this thing, they're sharp. I yelled and then plucked it out of my foot. Now, it's also a cat's tooth. I don't know what cats mean for y'all. But I know that something along with this reading is about cat energy and being willing to go after what you want, but also having the patience to do that, which is going to harken back to the Two of Pentacles card. It's going to harken back to the balance. Go after it, but be patient when you need to be patient, that kind of thing, right? Okay. So the next card that's come up for you all is a card that I have to say, it didn't mystify me that it came up, but what it did do is cement the messages that I was getting yesterday, just from those two, really the one kooky Facebook message. And that is the hawk in my, it's the, not the hawk, it's the squirrel. And it's the Ace of Wands. And when we take a look at squirrel, I don't know if you guys have ever listened when I'm talking about squirrel energy before, because it's if you're a reader, no matter what a tarot card meaning is, no matter what kind of spirit, totem, or power animal or symbolism or whatever looms up in front of you, that card or that animal, those symbols in your readings will take on a different life for you. That it's steeped in the traditional meanings of it. But if you're an intuitive tarot reader, then you might develop a relationship with that card where it always is going to have some meaning that is specific to your readings. Case in point. So when we talk about the Ace of Wands, and again, I read from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, right? I take from the traditional tarot card meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, which is the system that I use to create the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. And Squirrel wanted to be the Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh, for any number of reasons. Because I was really surprised that a squirrel wanted to be that. But when you take a look at what the Ace of Wands really is all about, it's about inspiration, and it's about manifesting what you desire and gaining the rewards. And when this card came out earlier today, I just sat here and went, I don't even know why I show up for these things. I could just turn the microphone on and you guys could just talk to spirit on your own and get these messages, because I could never put this stuff together. It's just the animal allies and, the whole gang out there, angels and other spirit guides and, whatever it is you believe in. But, from yesterday to Listen, this has got to be about setting intentions, to the Ace of Wands being about everything that you want to manifest. You can't make that stuff up. You just can't. Now, here's what I will tell you about the Ace of Wands that is so significant as regards setting intentions. Really anything. I mean, when you're talking about the Ace of Wands, for me, in my readings, the biggest omen, the biggest symbol is that the Ace of Wands tarot card will signify the ability and freedom to co-create your reality with the universe. Now, what that means is it will grant you the freedom that you do not grant yourself. I don't know what this is. There's again, I in my psychic eye, I see the wild pack not divided in a negative way, but like a half and half today. In the South, that's half sweet tea and half non-sweet tea. We like to think it's healthier than drinking a total sweet tea. It's not. So it's sugar. So that being said, for those of you that are rebuilding, you might have had such a dark night of the soul. You might have experienced the Tower tarot card in such a profound way that you're like, blank this. I don't care. I'm going for it. I'm going for it now. I do not care. I'm free, right? You're like Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Freedom. Okay. I'm sorry you went through what you went through, but I'm glad you're free. So happy for you that you're free. But for the other half of you, you may still be doing the dance. Well, I want this, and I know I'm being called to do this, but over here are all the reasons that you can't, you shouldn't, you won't. That's not freedom by any stretch of the imagination. You've got yourself trapped all up in your own head, which means you're metamorphosizing into a Virgo. I'm teasing. Virgos don't write me. I'm just picking on y'all today. One of my longest timest friends is a Virgo, and he and I joke about this all the time. But it's the Ace of Wands is truly a tarot card that asks you to set yourself free and tells you that its archetype will work with you in that. Again, this is going to go back to intention. Do you even know that you're not free? Do you even know that you're being held prisoner of your own mind, of your own whatever? Case in point. So squirrels, as spirit, totem, and power animals, they're resourceful little suckers. They're amazing. I love them. I just love them. I really have to stop myself every single day from going out and making friends with the squirrels in my yard, because if I don't want them to get used to humans, so on and so forth. Okay, you guys get it. But they have a fatal flaw in that they naturally, when they're preparing for winter, now listen, these are Florida squirrels, right? So the most that they prepare for winter is to get a lighter SPF suntan lotion. Okay. But they do dig around and root around in my backyard and whatever. And they do, bury their acorns and whatever else they've picked up anywhere that seems appetizing. But the one thing that they do is they build fake holes. And they do that because they're worried, they're in fear, they're trapped in their minds. They don't know any better. They're squirrels, okay? They're not sitting around reading Jung, I don't think. I don't know that to be true. I might go out there one day and I'll see a squirrel up in one of my, patio chairs with, Carl Jung book in his hand. I don't know, or her hand. I don't know. But that said, it is what happens is when it comes time to harvest their food, when acorns are not growing or nothing is fresh or whatever, they only harvest about 30 to 40% of what they have squirreled away, so to speak. And that can be because they don't remember where they put the holes in the food. But oftentimes it's because they didn't put anything in there. They were faking out the other animals that in their minds were watching them to sneak up on them and snatch their acorns out from under them. I get it if you're a squirrel, okay. But you're not a squirrel. You are a squirrel, but you're not a squirrel. You know what I'm saying, all right? You are every animal, and every animal is you. But at the end of the day, the Ace of Wands tarot card really calls upon you to free yourself, because fortune favors the bold. And it's like whatever quest or time you're embarking on, whatever this means for you today, now is the time to speak up, to be real, to be clear. Let your intentions be known to the world. Now, let me just say something about that. I have this conversation frequently, with all kinds of people, and my jury is out on it. I don't know, but some people will tell you, you keep your dreams to yourself, because if you blab them out into the world, it dilutes the power of the energy of them. I've heard a lot of explanations about why they think that, but in my little squirrel mind, what it occurs to me is I'm only going to tell my dreams to people that care if I reach my dreams, and they will join with me in the creation of a bigger energy to manifest those dreams more than I could just do on my own. So why wouldn't I want to do that, right? Okay. That said, the Ace of Wands does ask you to breathe those intentions, to breathe those dreams into the world. Now, if you've ever watched squirrels, they chatter incessantly. Okay. That can get annoying unless it's something that you're making headway about. What that means is this: listening to someone over and 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 over. See how annoying that is? It hadn't even been 10 seconds. Talk about what they want and what they dream of doing, but it's 5 years later, a year later, they haven't taken one step. That's annoying to me, but not annoying to me for me. I'm annoyed for them because the chatter is incessant, but what are you doing about it? Nope. Here we go again. Let's have that same old conversation again. Let's stay in that hamster wheel. It's a lot of fun, right? I mean, heck, at least I'll get exercise while I'm in the hamster wheel, right? So I will encourage you that at this moment, it's literally giving me a pain behind my eyes. It's making my eyes feel achy and tired, because I'm stepping into your collective energy. And it's like in the movies where you hear all of those whispers, all of those voices, but you can't quite make out each one, but you know it's like hundreds, if not thousands. The incessant chatter you're doing very well may be in your own head. Get out of your head. Get into action. The Ace of Wands is a card. It's a tarot card of action. It's not a tarot card of, it's a tarot card of blabbing. Okay. But then again, move along. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's take all of that enthusiasm that you once had. Case in point, I was talking to Amy last night, and if y'all don't know Amy, there she is, Amy Pittman. Her nickname is Moonbow, by the way. Moonbow Reflections. And if you don't know, a moonbow is a particular kind of rainbow. Who knew? She found it. It was awesome. So I was talking to Amy last night, and I was struck with an idea for a series of mini books. And I'm going to do those books. I know I am. It wasn't just chawing about it. They are now in my mind, and within the next 2 years, I'll fit them in my production schedule because they're awesome. There's nothing else out there like it. And how often does anybody get to say that? So I've already moved on it in that I've set up a Google Doc, I've set up a folder, I've set up this, I've set up that. And even if I only go in once or twice a month and write down ideas as they come to me, that is still forward momentum and not just talking about it in my head or to other people. So at this moment, you're really truly being called on to work with the Ace of Wands to literally manifest, fire up what you want. And you might, it might involve a little bit of risk taking. But you cannot, you just like with the squirrel, right? For a millennia, squirrel have been burying their stuff and only harvesting a small percentage of it. You can't stay with your outmoded old ideas. They will not work anymore. Now, let me just say this. If you don't know, and you've been feeling crazy, shifting, life-altering energies swirling around you, I will tell you that some of the bigger picture of that, if not a lot of the bigger picture of that, has to do with cryptocurrency. And I'll tell you why. It is literally upending the financial system in all countries. It is not a physical product. It is an energy. It's just a string of numbers. And the intent of it is to not make people, but to give people the opportunity to make their own choices, to have the freedom that they want to have financially. I mean, I could go on about it for forever, but I'm telling you now, there is such a struggle going on between the haves and the have-nots. But the gonna haves, it's palatable, it's palpable, or palpable, I think is the word. You can just feel it. And there's a big struggle, make no mistake about that. But what that says is, if the world is gonna get behind a change like this, surely, you can carve out an hour or two every week to get what you want. Okay, I want to say it again. The world is changing because the foundation of how things are purchased, consumed, dreamed of, whatever, it's changing rapidly. And I would invite you to get on that train, whatever that. Now, here's what I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you to invest in cryptocurrency. I'm not. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a transformational, a worldwide transformational energy that is revolutionary. It literally is revolutionary. Like back to when, people fled from England because they didn't want to be under the regime. They didn't want that religion. It's revolutionary. And you are being called to know that if you have been feeling even like jiggier lately than usual about, I got to do this, I can't do this anymore, I've got to do this, I've got to manifest this in my life, oh my God, what is my life purpose, la, 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 like a squirrel, right? Like a squirrel. Yes, you're darn tootin' you do. Because it's going to mean so much for you and the people around you and for the world. Now's the time to get on the train, right? Come on, ride the train, ride it up. Come on, ride the train. If I was up, I'd be doing the come on, ride a train, ride it up. Okay. Oh, Lily, you want to listen? You'd be really willing to relocate, wouldn't we all? One day I'm going to come live from England to you all. Okay, so let's just talk about the squirrel now and what that means with where you are, because currently where you are, all right, this is a 3-card tarot spread, and the center card is what's currently happening for you, or what should be currently happening for you. Now, I just want to say one other thing about the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is not a cookie cutter pattern. It is going to require you to be comfortable with being different, whatever that means to you. So it is dare to be different. I mean, that's such a cheesy line, but honestly, dare to be different. And if you've been hiding things, I have any number of clients and friends who their family, their friends, they have no idea they're up in the woo-woo. Like they keep a little room tucked away or like everything in a closet. And when people come over, they literally put those things in the closet and then they take them out when they're gone. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not helpful for you at all. An Ace of Wands is not going to allow you to do that. So what squirrel has to do with all of this, I mean, we've talked about that briefly, but when you take a look at squirrel as a spirit, totem, and power animal, you know that if it's your spirit animal, you are being called by squirrel to go on a quest. Look at your new horizons. Hunt around, gather up what you want, be as nosy as you want to be, always poking your nose into everything. They're very curious animals, but they're very adaptable. And that's where it's important, because we get stuck in our outmoded ways of thinking, being, and doing. The world is not going to let you do that now. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to change your ways of doing and being. And it's not cataclysmic. I mean, it may just be minor adjustments, but it's still going to be an adjustment. But if you think about it in terms of, well, I did a reading for a gal, I don't know, last month or so. This poor gal. She was in such a tailspin because she's moving. She hates moving. Hates it. She wanted an entire reading about how her move was going to go. So I'd never worked with her before. And I was like, well, we could talk about that. But if you'll allow me some latitude, I want to tell you the message that's coming to me first. Okay. I said, you're focused on the wrong thing. You're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. She said, what does that mean? I said, I don't know anything about where you're moving or why you're moving. That's why they call it evidential psychic mediumship, is because what I'm being told is you are overjoyed at the new job you've got. You've wanted this your whole life. That is true. You're moving to a state that is a place you've always wanted to live because of the climate and the landscape. And it's like two major dreams come true all at once. Yes, that is correct. I'm like, then why are you here paying for a reading? Because you're freaked out about the move. Your move is already beautiful and perfect and everything that you would want it to be. Because if it wasn't going to be that, you wouldn't have those other things preceding it. Those things are the horse before the cart. And in this reading, you want to put the cart before the horse. It was life-changing for this lady. She was so caught up in that she hates moving so much that she wasn't even focused on the two humongous dreams that just came true for her. That, by the way, she manifested. She set intentions and it happened. So we talked about that, right? So autocorrect. Are y'all having problems with autocorrect today? That's funny. I hate it. Never mind. I don't need to share that with you all. There's a particular word that I like to use that always gets misspelled. It irks me every time. You'd think my phone would know by now, but my phone's probably teaching me to try to be a little bit more of a lady, instead of the farm girl that I am. So anyway, Squirrel is really teaching you to focus on what's important, because here's the thing. In Norse mythology, I've always remembered this. I can't pronounce the name so well, but I think it's Ratasker. That's in mythology for the Norse. That is what squirrel is to them. And this little squirrel runs up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down the world tree, taking messages from the eagle spirit at the top of the tree, embellishing the messages as it can, because it's a trickster. Hopefully it doesn't do that, but then it delivers the messages to the serpent or dragon that lives at the roots of the tree. So sometimes those tricks are good tricks, and sometimes they're not. Mostly they're not, because what that does is it puts the harmony of the tree in jeopardy. And it's important that you don't trick yourself when you're chattering about what it is that you really want or why. Because squirrel is as a power animal, when you want to step outside of the squirrel to be yourself and you need problem solving or puzzle solving skills, squirrel is a great helpmate for that, a great animal ally for that. But also in that, is your chatter tricking yourself, right? Are you telling yourself something that, again, this is all based on your intention. What is this that you want and why? Are you telling yourself things about yourself or others or the situation that just are patently untrue? Patently untrue. And that gets problematic when we're so convinced that our truth is right that we get like oxen and we get like, mules and donkeys, and we just dig our hooves in, and we just will not see things another way. You can't do that right now. You are being asked to examine every truth that you think you know about yourself or the situation, and what might be blocking you or trapping you or keeping you or whatever from manifesting these intentions or this intention. No. And if you have to ask others, I'm going to give you a good example of this. So everybody I know, including my sister, y'all, thinks that I'm a secret keeper and I'm mysterious. What? What? What are you talking about? Like I'm one of the most transparent, blabby people out there. Now, I'm the best secret keeper you'll ever know for other people, but I don't ever have any secrets. I mean, I'm not that complicated. I'd love to be one of those mysterioso, sexy mysterioso women. I'm not. I'm the fun girl that's going to show up and say, "Hold my beer, let's go in." But they're convinced. And so when so many people are convinced and you hear that over and over and over again, well, Bernadette, nobody ever knows how you really feel. Nobody ever knows what's really on your mind. I'm like, if that many people who don't know each other keep telling you something, I've got to believe there's a shred of truth in it. So I've got my sister helping me with this now. She'll be like, I'm like, look, I need you to ask me questions. Just if you think something is, just ask me questions. I've never been asked how I feel about something more in my life. And I'm pretty sure I wear my feelings on my sleeve, but apparently I don't. That's the kind of example that I'm talking about. In my head, I truly, truly, truly am so open and blabby with stuff that it just boggles my mind. It is like, what? I don't see it yet. I don't know that I'll ever see it. I don't know that you'll ever see it, but even if you don't, I will tell you that I would encourage you to seek the opinion of others who really truly do know you, who have a positive agenda as regards their relationship with you. They want all the things that, will make you happy and whole and healthy. And just talk with them about, what do you think is impeding me? What do you think is this? Why do you think, you may get things that don't resonate with you at all, but that doesn't mean they're not true. Just because it doesn't resonate doesn't mean it's not true. So I hope so far you all are really happy about the deep dive that we're taking into how to set intentions, or setting your intentions and working with the tarot, and working with the spirit totem and power animals, because again, the world is changing and you've got to change with it. This is your opportunity to go to stratospheric levels in every way, in every day of your life. It's important. It's just important. Now, having said that, that's funny. Stephine, that's a good question. Okay. How do you set intentions? Is there a particular way? Also, should you do it before? Well, everything. Yes, absolutely. You should. I would not recommend that anybody take a major course of action. You know, if you want to run on down to the bakery and grab a chocolate, croissant, I sanction that. Grab one for me. But if you are thinking about changing your career, getting in or out of a relationship, whether to adopt a fur baby, whether to, I mean, this can even go down to coloring your hair. For those that have watched me for a while, I'm obsessed with my hair. It's a tick I have. I can't help it. I can't believe oh my gosh, I'm tired. That can be the only reason that I used the C word twice in a day. Holy guacamole. Holy free holies. My apologies. I don't use that word. I don't know why. Hair is a thing for me. Who knows? Who knows what kind of past life it is? But it's a thing. So when I go to think about getting my hair cut, it's a thing. So considering why that's a thing and ridding myself of it, setting the intention of not being so dramatic about my hair, is probably a good thing for me to do. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know. I just haven't done it. But yes, you want to set your intentions before you embark on your course of action. Else, how will you know where you're going to go? Now, you certainly can go about it intuitively and in no other way, but you're still going to have set your intention before you do that. You're going to, you may say to spirit, okay, I'm surrendering and guide me, but you still have set the intention for what you want, which means you've already set sail, if that makes sense. Okay. So moving on, pardon me. Here's the future for you. It is the Four of Swords, and that's the Sloth. Now, for some of us, that's not going to look so great because listen, if you're talking about getting what you want, who wants that to take time? Who wants that to take time? You want it when you want it right now. Okay. And you can have it, but when you take a look at the traditional, the traditional tarot card meanings of the Four of Swords, what you see is that it is respite after a battle. It is being able to take that much needed rest inside of yourself, outside of yourself, and just chill, lax. It's almost like you're going to wait for a sign from the universe. You've done all of this leading up work. You've set these intentions. That's awesome. But when do you move on that? What is that really all about? So case in point, the person that I was reading that's in flux, that can't find an apartment, so on and so forth. Now, in my mind, in my Bernadette mind, I probably would have given this advice to pretty much anybody that asked me my opinion about the situation. But it is what came as a message for this person, which was stop. Go get a bed and breakfast for a week. Go to one of the executive hotels and book it for a month. Just give yourself some time to regroup, reevaluate, and you've already taken such huge steps to set yourself free that what you think today, the choices you're trying to make today, are not going to look anything like the choices you're going to make 3 weeks from now. And then you're going to have put the time and the effort and the money into the here and now. And you're going to get 3 weeks from now and go, could have had a V8, right? Okay. This three card tarot spread for you all this morning is such a blueprint, such a XYZ blueprint, right? For getting what it is that you're manifesting, what you want. I mean, honest to gosh, if there was a spiritual architect somewhere that could just put this into a schematic, great googly moogly. You'd be like, oh, I get it. Poof, you'd be off to the races. But the trick is, what do you want really to happen. Once you've identified that, the next biggest thing, and Stephine, this speaks to your question about what do we do first, how do we do it? It is partially setting your intentions, partially knowing why you're setting your intentions. And when you talk about setting intentions, let's be clear, there are a myriad of ways to do that. You could write a mantra for yourself. You could journal on it. You could make up a song parody to it. You could make up a dance to it. You could just talk about it with people, just make sure that you're always having a conversation with yourself or others. We could do this laundry list until next week. So that's the physical action. But really today it's about the emotional action, the mental action, the intention, and then the forward, the card that's the future tarot card in the place of the future. It still is asking you to just sit quietly for a moment and wait till you get the signs. Now, when I read this person, I said, I keep seeing a nautical theme, the ocean, nautical. What is that all about? I don't know. Like, it's really important. I keep seeing that. There's something really important that connects you to nautical. So it did turn out to be some other things, but then it also turned out to be this person needs a car, and they found a Corvette, Stingray. And they were trying to figure out whether to buy this, late model Corvette Stingray. So that was a clear sign that, yeah, you know what? You've been through a lot in the last, decade. Buy that dang Stingray. What's the worst that can happen? It breaks down. It needs a bunch of work. Okay. But you've always wanted one. Buy the Stingray. But it's going to be about when is appropriate for this person to do that. What's going to be best that's going to drive the entire scope of the intention forward. And only this person is going to know that when they get enough signs, which is also this. If you take a look at the sloth, which wanted to represent, and rightly so, the Four of Swords tarot card, okay, what you know is that the sloth is hanging upside down, which gives that sloth a unique perspective of what it's seeing. It's different than if it was right side up. So I would encourage you not to play devil's advocate so much as to just allow yourself to see things from both sides of the picture and everything around. Because let me give you a case in point. This is such a great case. When I coached acting, one of the first things I did, especially if I was getting somebody ready for a major motion picture role or anything like a series, something where they were going to have an ongoing character that would need to be developed into a defined persona. I would have them read their script while present in the real emotion of anger, even if it was a comedy, then present in the real emotion of fear or of sadness or of happiness or of this or of that. And what resulted from that was intensely rich auditions. Because let's say if you're going to audition for a Disney series, there's a rhythm that Disney series kids have. There's a rhythm, but it can be very easy to fall in the trap of everything's like this. It is like that, but sometimes if you deliver a line and you're angry about it, it's the funniest thing people have ever seen. Whereas if you delivered that line having a giggle or enjoy, it would be like a bump, wah, 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 wah. Okay. Those are the greatest actors, the ones that can find the nuances, the ones that can allow themselves to see and experience the character from lots of different perspectives. In this moment, for setting your intentions and manifesting what you want, the sloth as a spirit totem and power animal and the Four of Swords as a tarot card is telling you, and it absolutely is coming, as long as you're willing to see things from a different perspective. And when you do see that perspective that may be different, you recognize it as a sign and you go Jetson. When we worry 24/7 about something, that's a skewed, toxic perspective. And it's all about you finding your own personal pace. And that's really what it's all about. Sloth is not the only slow-moving critter in the world, but they move in the time that they're supposed to move. Snails move in the time that they're supposed to move. Look at other animals. I mean, a cat can be the laziest dang thing. Thank you, Raven, very much. Thank you for the donation. That's very kind. Oh my God, Queen Teresa Reader. There you go. Move along. See? And that's why they call it Spidey Senses. Gonzola. Hey, Dawn. It is, your pace is not other people's pace. And I especially see this in college kids. Their parents want them to do something in a certain way on a certain day in a certain time frame. And that they may not be capable of it. They may not want to do it. There could be all kinds of things, right? I feel like with all of you that are really like this reading, this pick a card reading is really resonating with you. Timing is a big issue. And I'm going to wrap up here really shortly. I have to stay on time today, but just very quickly in the chat, just tell me if your timing, if you are falling, if you're feeling badly that maybe you're not accomplishing something fast enough, or maybe you're going too fast. Let me know, because this is definitely for you. This is for you in this moment to know you've got to be comfortable and confident in your own pacing, because what you want will come to you, because you'll bring it to you in the time that's supposed to be for you and for no one else. So I hope all of that was helpful. I got a dash. Thank you again, Teapot. Thank you, Amy. Thank you to everyone who came out today. You know, I love you guys all so much. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle decks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the little ringy dingy bell thingy and get all the alerts and notifications. Come visit us at wildpackwisdom.com/forums. Especially, there's a couple threads going on there, and I'm about to put up a couple more where it's Ask Mama Bear Anything. One thread is about spirit, totem, and power animals. One thread is about psychic development. I'll put another, thread up about tarot and that kind of thing, because really something that I wanted to manifest these forums for any number of reasons. But I find I'm more comfortable in a social situation if I have something to contribute almost in a teachery kind of way. And so I spend time there doing that. So again, if you have questions, like Stephine, you had a question about manifesting or intention setting, that kind of thing. I'll keep the chat up for a while so you guys can say, all the wonderful things you say to each other, which I appreciate very much. I will see you on Friday for the live. And this time I'll actually get a graphic up before the morning of. So, what's the most important thing though at the end of your day? Say it with me. To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild. Take care, everybody.